What's up, YeshGamers? Robert the Bruce here, and we are in Battlefield 4 now. It is dropped, the beta is out, and it is awesome. But a couple things we're going to cover here before we dive into this training camp video. Number one, it is a beta, so if you're watching this during the beta time, just expect there to be beta problems. Glitches occasionally, the freeze here or there, something that doesn't work right. Of course, the game isn't going to look as good right now as it will in the final product. All of this stuff is normal with a beta, so don't panic, don't get all mad and rage about it and hate this game and I'm never going to play it again. Just it's how betas work, so it'll be okay. Just enjoy it for what it is. And also, I would say to take comfort in the fact that in my experience, joining friends in the Battlefield 4 beta is light years ahead of how awful it was in the Battlefield 3 beta. In Battlefield 3, I rarely got to play with my friends. If we were on the same team, we couldn't hardly squad up together. It was just full of glitches. Now, in the Battlefield 4 beta, I've had no problem sticking with my buddies, joining different squads, joining them in different games. It's really been streamlined and made a lot easier and seems to be working correctly. So that is very, very cool. And one final thing before we dive into this video is the first in this new series. If you're watching this a couple months from now and the actual, the official final product for Battlefield 4 is out, fear not, this video is still for you. A lot of good things if you're new to this game. A lot of good things in this video, they're still going to help you out. So stay tuned and stick around. Number one, the first thing we're going to look at. The controls have changed. Now, we can sit here and argue back and forth and cry and complain about how we hate it. DICE, how dare you change the controls on us? But the fact of the matter is the controls have changed and that's how it is. And at least in the beta, there is no set default setup to go back to the way it was in Battlefield 3. Maybe this will change in the final product, but as of right now in the beta, this is how it is and we're stuck with it. So we can complain all day or we can just get used to it, practice, get better, and enjoy this game. A couple of things to highlight with the new controls. Spotting people is no longer select. It is R2. So if you run up behind somebody and try to knife them the old way, you're actually just going to spot them and it's going to be weird. To knife somebody, you click in R3. Now again, these are obviously on the PlayStation 3 controls, so if you're on Xbox, look up the appropriate thing for you. In-game has a menu just like the one I'm showing you right now that outlines exactly what the controls are. So on PS3, R3, clicking in that right analog stick is actually what is going to knife someone. It's also the button you're going to hit if you need to counter knife somebody. But we're going to talk more about that in a future video. Circle is now what you press to crouch or go prone. And square enters and exits vehicles. But let me make an extra little annotation on that. You actually have to hold it down. So you don't just run up and tap square real quick. You actually have to hold it down to get in or out of a vehicle. I actually learned this the hard way, spawning into a helicopter that I knew was doomed. And I ended up dying with the helicopter because I couldn't figure out how to get out of the darn thing. So pay attention, memorize those real quick. You'll make a few mistakes your first few games. That's just natural. It's how it is. We've been playing Battlefield 3 for 2 years. That's fine. If you just get all pissed off about it and rage, you're not going to get any better and you're not going to enjoy yourself. So just laugh when you make a mistake and do something silly to get you killed. Make a mental note of it. Get better. You'll catch on to new controls very, very quickly. And one final thing. You'll notice here my sensitivity is at 50%. When I first started into the beta, the default was at 20%. I highly, highly encourage you to bump that up. If you jump in and you're like, oh, it feels natural the way it is, this is what I'm used to, well, take this as an opportunity to get better. Higher sensitivity is almost always a sure sign of a more advanced, skilled player. You can turn quicker. Once you get really good, you can acquire targets faster. It just is a better way to play the game. So we're all going to probably be a little rusty starting out. It's new maps, new guns, new feel. The controllers are different, so you're not going to be having these great, incredible games most likely anyway. So use this as an opportunity to go ahead and bump your sensitivity up. I recommend you kick it up to 50% like I have here and at least start with that. And it's going to feel weird and crazy. Who cares? This is the beta right now. And even if you're first starting the game out here in a few months and it's the official release, who cares? Spend a few weeks getting used to higher sensitivity. It'll pay off massively in the next year or two that you're playing this game. Moving on. Navigating the spawn screen. This is something else that you're going to be a little confused about when you first hop in. The D-pad on the PS3, and I'm guessing this is a similar setup on Xbox. The switches between your teammates. So you see the lower left list there of the people that are in your squad that you can spawn on who are currently alive in the game. Pushing up and down on the D-pad scrolls through that list. Now, it can be a little counterintuitive because you're probably looking at the main map and you're seeing them more in a left to right way. So don't hit left or right. That's not going to do anything. Up and down scrolls through that list in the order that they are arranged there, and you can choose to spawn on them that way. Now, if you want to move to spawn on an objective like Bravo or Charlie, you're going to use the left analog stick. So you switch between the D-pad and the analog stick based on what you want to spawn in on. It's a little different. I know, it's a new game. It'll be okay. After a couple times of messing with it, it'll be second nature and you'll be fine. Next up, when you're swimming, circle on the PlayStation 3 controller, and I'm guessing it is also the crouch/prone button on Xbox, but on PS3 it's circle, lets you swim, start diving down. So if you want to dive down underwater and get silly and swim around, you can do that. Hold in circle. That being said, you can die if you stay underwater too long. That's how it works in real life, and it works that way in the game as well. So don't swim around too long underwater. Be aware of that. Just dive down if you need to. Maybe you're getting shot and you want to try and sneak away or something. One other thing is you can switch to your secondary while you're in water as well, and you could use your pistol. Say guys up on shore and Battlefield 3 you were defenseless. Well, not anymore. You can use your pistol, but be aware, once you pull the pistol out, you will swim slower. So it's something to kind of keep in mind there while you're doing that. And one last final thing before we end this first training camp starter tips video. Friendly teammates don't have the blue friendly indicators on them when they're at long distances. Maybe this will change in the official release, but again, we're in the beta right now, and it's something to be aware of. When a friendly teammate is way far off in the distance, and you're looking at them, they're going to look just like an enemy, and you'll be trying to spot them, you might be trying to shoot them, and it's not like Battlefield 3 where they'd have friendly indicators even if they're a million miles away, some sniper off on a mountain or something. No, these guys won't have those, so you'll start shooting at them, you'll be trying to spot them, and you'll be like, why aren't they dying? Why am I not getting hit markers? And then suddenly you'll get closer to them, and they'll pop up the little blue square, and you're like, oh, that was a good guy. So just be aware of that. Check your map if you have a question about whether it's a good or a bad guy, and if they're super long distance anyway, you're probably not going to kill them unless you have a sniper rifle, so just don't worry about it. But this is the first in several videos I'm going to be getting out during this beta. In the training camp series, the other ones will move more into gameplay tips concerning new weapons, the new gameplay features, all that kind of stuff. Counter knifing, we'll dive into that and really look at that and make sure everyone is on the same page on how to do it well. So stay tuned, stick around. I'm going to be tearing up this beta as much as I possibly can and getting out as many videos as I can to help all of us really hit the ground running with Battlefield 4. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.